Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another reaction. Another one from Mitsu is Sleepy and my executive producer Q from Patreon. This is another song from BilliumMoto, who I've become familiar with through other requests that Mitsu has thrown in, but this one has an additional person that I've never heard of before, Miyolophone, which is one hell of a mouthful of a name for me, but I don't know what their sound is like. I'm kind of familiar, like I said, with BilliumMoto, so I at least have a rough direction of where this song could go, but I also don't because of that exact experience. This could go anywhere. So without further ado, let's go. Okay. Starting off pretty strong, frankly. I like the vibe happening right off the bat. Great driving energy. Nothing like a good chip tune. Ooh. Where are we going? Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, that halftime. Ooh, ooh, hello. Love those jazzy accents. I'm kind of wondering what part of this Miyolophone has done. Because so far I could see this being a BilliumMoto track just solo. Maybe it's the chiptune-y stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit of both of them, but I'm always left wondering what percentage of a collaboration was each person. Because it could very well be like one person handling one aspect and the other doing a completely different part. And they just kind of, you know? Or it's a complete 50-50. Ooh. Ooh, that's unique. That's different. That's really different. This part does not feel like Billium to me. To be fair, I don't have the most experience with Billium's work, but that might have been Miyolophone, just given how unique that was. Or Billium is cracked. Either one is possible. Ooh. Interesting change there. We might talk about that one in the analysis portion. I feel like I know that synth in there. It might be based off a preset, because I'm pretty sure I've heard it. Get faster. Ooh, never mind. Kind of.
Say what?
There, that's kind of what I was expecting it to do. A little bit of hard style, speed style, let's go. All right, somebody's motorcycle is misfiring. I get that looked at. And the slowdown there too? Dude. damn, just that relationship, the one up, one down, it's exactly what I wanted out of that. I'm so glad I was right. All right, let's get to it. This song gives me an opportunity to talk about music theory, and everyone leaves the video immediately. But if you are interested in that sort of thing, I believe this song was written in C-sharp Mixolydian, which on the whole scale there would be... And what's interesting about that is that this specific key forces you to do something when writing the music that's kind of interesting. Basically, this includes an E sharp, which, interestingly enough, if you're not a music person, is actually just F. You just don't have anywhere to go with that because there is no E sharp, it's F. Same thing with B. When you hit B sharp, that would be a C. You just go up to the next white key. So like, that's pretty intriguing. I didn't really honestly know that until this video, because I was looking through it and I started figuring out what key it was in, just plucking around, guessing it. But I'd never really come across anything like that where I had to find out what that sharp was. It makes total sense in hindsight, but while I was trying to figure out, I'm like, why would this make sense? I was like looking at C sharp Mixolydian, then they were like, it's an E sharp on the note. And I'm like, what the hell is an E sharp? Apparently when writing music, if you don't include it as an E sharp and you leave it as an F, it'll create a bunch of incidentals because there would be too many sharps in the actual like key signature off to the side at the start of the measure. So you just need to have an incidental at the beginning and basically rename it so it makes sense. That's kind of cool. That's a music theory thing that I really hadn't come across, and now I know, and that's pretty sick. But something else definitely worth mentioning is that I guess C sharp Mixolydian kind of shares the exact same structure as F sharp major. So that's just a cool relationship there too. I never really would have thought that those two would kind of match, really. I don't know, there's just something about that didn't click, of like, why would that make sense? Why would that actually be their relative keys? But then I looked it up because it didn't feel right that two majors were relatives of each other, because usually it's a major and a minor that are relatives. That's just how it is. And F sharp major is actually relative to D sharp minor. So I'm like, oh, that's completely different. Then why does C sharp major Mixolydian makes sense? And of course the C sharp major is actually a dominant key in F, so you're like, okay, what's the relationship there? The only difference is that there is an extra sharp. The B is a sharp, so it's like, okay, that's the relationship, and Mixolydian just makes you move it down. So effectively, Mixolydian C sharp major is just F sharp major, and there's really no other difference, and I'm very intrigued by that. I am obviously still very green to music theory. It's not my main forte. I'm working on it, and stuff like this appearing makes me scratch my head in the I need to know why that is sort of way. The fact that modes can apparently not only change where you start on a key, like you start on a different note basically for most of modes, they start on a different key, but otherwise it's about the same. You maybe move one note up or down on a neighboring key, and that's about it. So I'm like, okay, that tracks with everything I know about modes and such. Mixolydian I've looked up plenty on before, but learning that Mixolydian C sharp major is just the same as another key, it makes me now wonder, why do people not just write in those other keys? And I'm going to throw out my own music theory here because I am not sure and I did not look this up, but I'm kind of curious if this is correct. When you write things in that other relationship, for example, C sharp major, and you put it in Mixolydian, you're then still able to utilize the like subdominants, dominants, and relatives of that key, rather than having to transform it to what would be the relative if it was F sharp major, where you would have the D sharp minor be your relative key, which could change the entire feel of the song. So I think that modes are just kind of a way to even further abuse what music has to offer and allow you to kind of cheat the system by shoving things over and nudging notes left or right, just to make sure that you don't lose that relationship you want with other notes and keys later in. And as a result, you're able to keep things a little bit more bright or dark depending on your mood, without having to sacrifice that by forcing a minor key change that you don't actually want and feels wrong for whatever reason. Music is so fascinating. I didn't expect this to be like such an introspective piece for me on music theory, but I'm learning a lot through this song, and I hope all of you watching me rant about this are also learning about music theory, because this is really neat to me. But obviously, putting that aside and getting to the actual song thoughts here, I'm still not entirely sure, even listening to it a couple more times, which parts might be Billium and which parts might be Miyolophone. I am very intrigued by that. I think the only part that I'm confident in might be a Miyolophone is that like part with the vocal chopping in there in the center, because that didn't really feel like anything I'd heard from Billium before, but the chiptune stuff could go either way. And again, it's hard to tell exactly which parts of a song, like which percentage is done by which person. It's almost impossible unless they tell you directly. And it's hard to figure out what the relationship of the collaboration is without knowing the people and asking them directly. So I find that kind of interesting with collabs too, because when you get people who are so close to each other, and then it starts begging the existential question of, is this us anymore, or is this like a new entity? Like, could this be its own like alias, you know? Like there's so many options there with music and what it could be, and the relationship between people working on stuff. It's like, at what point is it no longer your project, it's an our project thing? I feel like a lot of people probably just go, hey, we're collaborating on this, there is no percentage, and that's perfectly valid by all means as well. I actually prefer that mindset because I feel like there's no ownership at that point. And obviously, aside from the stuff I was already hyped about during the reaction, about like changing the beat and like making it halftime instead of a full or double time, and I'm like, that's really cool. I love those subverted expectations. I love that feel. I also wanted to talk about that final chord we got, because I think I might have found it, and it's just so beautiful. But I'm pretty sure that final chord is just a C sharp chord on the bottom. On the bass hand, it's just a full chord, and the top note is just a G sharp. Beautiful, right? It's just so pretty. It's so simple. But it ends up rounding out the entire chord because that C sharp is on a G sharp. So you just kind of match that up top and it just fills out. That's kind of the nice thing with chords, is like when you want to create this really like bright, hopeful, uplifting thing, a lot of the time all you have to do is relate it to a note that's already on the bottom, because so you get that low tone as well as the bright lift at the end, and it's just a good relationship. Everything else about this song is just fun. I love the chiptune vibe. I love all the other stuff going on here. I'm still not positive, despite my rambling earlier, about the key. So if I am incorrect, somebody tell me, because I am an idiot and I am learning. So it's very likely that I'm not correct, but I feel like I'm at least in the ballpark, so I'm going to confidently walk forward with my thought process unless I'm proven otherwise. But I think I'll stop it there. I've literally been recording for over half an hour with this video, and I need to be done, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you have any other songs you want me to get to, by all means, drop them in the comments below and I'll do my best. Thank you, Mitsu, again for requesting another banger. This one, really, I did not expect it to go down this whole rabbit hole of music theory, and I learned so much off it, which I always love, learning new stuff, especially through like natural means like this. So I just stumbling across it, so to speak. It's really nice to have that because it sticks in my brain better, and I feel like a lot of people here also got to learn off of that vicariously through me, so that's pretty sick. But anyway, if you like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!